What have the mental repercussions of Donald Trump being the 47th president been?
I'm personally here because I had a mental breakdown after Donald Trump won. It's devastation. It's absolute.
They don't want to live in a country where their rights are not respected in them as people, are not seen as people, but rather than objects of that should be eliminated.
It's a downward mental impact. It's not good.
My biggest worry right now, honestly, as a mother of a trans kid, I really worry about their rights.
I definitely don't feel like women are treated equal in society, and I'm definitely worried about, the right to abortion and birth control being taken away, but I also recognize that as, a white woman, I have a lot more privilege than a lot of women in this country.
I literally broke down in tears, and several of my friends cried as well.
Now, can I ask you what you guys think of the march?
What do we think about the march?
What do you think about the march?
Bunch of idiots and murderers.
What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and the meltdown has already begun. Donald Trump has arrived at the White House, but in the hours leading up to it, there was in fact yet another women's march. Remember the march last year made famous by, or 4 years ago, 8 years ago, with the pink hats? It was wild to say the least, but this year's protests are even more embarrassing, in particular for brightly colored haired women who really don't even know why they're there. And Savannah Hernandez went and interviewed some of them, and the results are shockingly hilarious. And obviously today we'll be live streaming much of the inauguration. So if you want, you can check it out over on Quartercast. I'll be live with Decoy Voice, Hannah Claire, and Styx. But otherwise, I will also be uploading my standard standalone videos as well. Let's get to some of the hilarious clips. Here's Savannah Hernandez. Went to go ask women the impact Donald Trump being elected had on their mental health.
What have the mental repercussions of Donald Trump being the 47th president been?
What?
I'm personally here because I had a mental breakdown after Donald Trump won.
You had a mental breakdown after Donald Trump won. What? Like, I don't know how these people actually survive. Like, how they survive, I don't know, life?
It's devastation. It's absolute
devastation.
complete devastation
Oh,
to
no.
people's mental, emotional, physical, and psychological health. People are dying as a result of
What?
Trump being elected. There are people dying
what?
by suicide because
What?
they don't want to live in a country where their rights are not respected in them as people, are not seen as people, but rather than objects of that should be eliminated.
It's
What?
a downward
Why do they always look like this?
mental impact. It's not good.
Well, I can't show that part because there's apparently somebody marching bottomless, but anyway.
Place telling us what we can and can't do with our bodies, and no uterus, no opinion. I definitely don't feel like women are treated equal in society, and I'm definitely.
Really? Really? You mean the fact that they, I don't know, graduate college at a higher rate, get more scholarships, get more promotions these days, just about all of that kind of stuff working out in their favor. They don't self-terminate. They're not homeless. None of that, none of that stuff. They don't have to deal with any of the problems that men do. Absolutely wild.
I'm worried about, the right to an abortion and birth control being taken away, but I also recognize that
Birth control is not being taken away. Abortion is not birth control.
as, a white woman, I have a lot more privilege than a lot of women in this country, and there are
What? Name one right that you have as a white woman that black women don't have. Name a single one.
other women that are facing a lot more of their rights being taken away, like trans women and women of color.
Those are men.
So I come out here to support them as well, and just try to keep fighting the good fight for as long as we can until we can get our rights in the Constitution.
I literally broke
What
down
rights? What rights don't you have?
in tears.
These women are the most delusional. Like, this is the top 0.01% of delusional women on the planet, all in one place.
And several of my friends cried as well. It's scary. I mean, a lot of my friends are nurses, and we are scared for our future.
Why?
I think that the people that are in support of it are probably in support of it for the wrong reason. They want cheaper eggs and gas and milk.
Oh, yeah. You pores. You just want cheaper eggs and milk, but these women want to be promiscuous and have no responsibility. They just want to abort their babies. They want to be promiscuous with no risk. But screw you for wanting to eat.
It just was really difficult to wrap my head around the fact that half of my country didn't even
More than half.
think that women and transgender people and gay people and people of color should have basic rights.
Nobody voted against that. Name a single right that anybody who voted for Trump. What did Trump run on? What right did he say he was going to take away from trans people? You mean biological men being in biological women's bathrooms? You think that's a constitutional right?
And talk to me about that to expand on that a little bit more for me. How are women not treated equally in society?
She's so good.
I mean,
Savannah's
I
so
think
good.
it's pretty-
She knows this girl's totally dumb, but she's pretending not to be making fun of her.
Just day to day, the way that men talk about women, and
Oh, the way they talk about them.
I mean, we've never had a female president. I think that
Good.
kind of speaks for itself.
Now, can I ask you what you guys think of the march?
What do we think about the march?
What do you think about the march?
Bunch of idiots and murderers.
I mean, here you have AOC literally hyperventilating.
Now, I want you all to put all the pieces together, because what this effectively means is that every social media platform, mass social media platform in the United States has been taken over by the right wing.
What?
With the exception of Blue Sky, but Blue Sky is still very small, relatively. So when I say put the pieces together, Elon Musk took over Twitter, and there's open reporting. It's pretty obvious as well that they have manipulated the algorithms. They've artificially manipulated the algorithms to boost right-wing content.
Prove it. Can you prove that? This is what the right wing was saying all this time, and then now you called us crazy, so now you have to prove it.
Content on X and to amplify harassment.
Prove it.
Then you have Meta. So you have Mark Zuckerberg, and I know we're on Instagram right now. Hi. Saying that they're basically also bending the knee to Trump with their changes to fact checking, regardless on how effective that was in the first place. It's an open signal. And now TikTok is now saying, hey, we are agreeing. We will use our push notification system for all 170 million American users to promote Donald Trump. Now,
They didn't promote Trump. They just said Trump saved them. I mean, I don't really understand what's going on. You see, this spoke to a woman with a beard who was mad that she couldn't, quote, pee in 4% of America.
I can't pee in 4% of America right now. So
You can't pee in 4% of America.
in 4% of America, it is illegal for me to use the men's restroom in government buildings.
So
What?
because of the
So use the other bathroom.
bill that they just passed.
Yes, because I am biologically female, I cannot use the men's restroom in Florida or Utah.
What would you say to people who would say,
So
well,
use a woman's
just
room.
use the family restroom or a gender-neutral restroom if it's available? Like, what would your thoughts on that be?
What am I supposed to do if there isn't a gender-neutral restroom available? Am I supposed to hold it?
Yes. Oh my
Am I
God.
supposed to just wet my pants?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're into it.
Literally, there's no point to it other than to keep trans people out of the spaces they belong in.
They don't belong there.
Because, you know, they use the excuse of like, oh, how are you going to know if it's someone claiming to be a woman just to get into the women's restroom? And it's like, those people are going to be doing things in the restroom that are going to set off red flags. You don't.
I mean, again, here we have the beginnings of the Women's March featuring drag queens up front with signs reading, "The Bible never prohibits abortion." And 2.8 million abortions since 2022. You will never stop us. I mean, again, safe, legal, and rare, I think, was something that most people would at least be okay with. You know, people who have strong religious beliefs, obviously they wouldn't agree with that. But for the most part, like, you know, that was something that most people thought, okay, fine. When you're celebrating the number of lives you've snuffed out, I kind of stopped believing you need anything. By the way, these are Trump supporters just waiting to get in to the Trump rally. I mean, massive, massive crowds. Here's a lib protester saying that the Laken Riley bill is anti-immigrant. Well, you know, if they wouldn't do the things that would happen to Laken Riley, maybe there wouldn't be a Laken Riley bill. Here, listen to this. Again, these are your average protesters. They have no knowledge at all about why they're even there.
We're here today with a civil rights and immigrant rights group called BAM. Okay. And we're here to defeat Donald Trump and his fascist movement.
Oh, you're going to defeat him, huh? Well, guess what? He's already president.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you plan to defeat him in the fascist movement?
Yeah. I mean, Donald Trump has stated that, like, on day one, he's going to carry out mass deportation.
Good.
And to pardon January 6th, like, rioters.
Good.
And we, especially the Lincoln Riley bill, is an immigrant bashing bill that has to be defeated now. And I think
he can't even speak English.
I think that, like, we must, like, take mass action to stop like these ICE terror in our community, and we want to, like, raise, like,
totally, like,
wherever we are in our community, we have to build defense guard against ICE raids and deportations.
Do you know who Laken Riley is?
When I read it, like,
he doesn't know. Yeah. You don't even know why you're there.
So, I mean, are you supportive of measures to, protect the border from criminals and people like that?
I mean, I think that has been, like, a really right-wing rhetoric. Crimes happen everywhere.
Yeah, because our borders are wide open. Absolutely love to see it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.